Well done, Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. What I want you to do is take a second and thank your second grade teacher because you certainly read that title correctly. We are going to be looking through some of the most recent articles of the Buffalo Bills power rankings, right? I mean, this is something that happens every single year once the draft is over. The NFL has a general idea of what teams' rosters are going to look like for the upcoming season, minus training camp, of course. And what I thought we should do is we should look through some of these articles, see where the Buffalo Bills are ranked, and then look at some of the other teams that are ranked ahead of them so we can mock and talk shit to all of these analysis for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And so once that's done, then we will compare what we have saw and then give the Buffalo Bills an actual ranking of where we think that they should actually be. Before I get into any of that, I need to give a giant shout out to my most recent Patreon contributor, my boy, Haif. Thank you so much for becoming a patron of the Don Mafia Show, or the Don Mafia Report, rather. It really helps me a lot. Say, for example, that you guys want to support the channel and go the extra mile, then you could also become a patron by visiting the link in my description. I have a variety of different tiers. The $20 tier actually gives you an opportunity to come on my show with me, and we can talk Bills, and who wouldn't want that? Say that you don't want to, it's completely fine, baby. The best way you can support my channel is smashing the like button right damn now. So, Don Mafia, like I said, there's been several articles that have come out of the NFL power rankings. Some are pretty typical. We have the analysis not giving the Bills the credit that we deserve. And then we also have articles that are finally kissing our ass. Actually, let me refrain from that. They are eating that ass. They are eating that whole ass. And it feels really weird coming from a Bills fan that we're getting respect, that these analysts actually know what they're doing and they see a good football team when they see one. Like I said, I have these 4 articles, and the first one on the board, it just so happens to be from Sports Illustrated. They're typically not too kind to the Buffalo Bills, so let's see exactly where they have them. Number 9. That's fair. I mean, being in the top 10 without a single snap being in the NFL so far of the 2020 season, I am okay with that. This is the little blurb that they just ended up saying. We know they have the defense, but it will be critical for Stephon Diggs to help Josh Allen take a big step forward like the Bills front office thinks he can. And so that right there, that's a very interesting take, because in my opinion, that's exactly why I think that Stephon Diggs was traded or was acquired by the Buffalo Bills. Not only is his presence going to help Josh Allen, but it's also going to open up the field a little bit more for Cole Beasley, John Brown, maybe Dawson Knox, and then our run game as well. I really think that our offense is about to explode, and all it took was really just that extra addition of an absolute ludicrous route runner. But that's not why we're here, right? We're here to talk shit to these guys to see exactly who they ranked ahead of us. Tied for 7th place, the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fully aware that the Tennessee Titans ended up making the AFC Championship. Actually, Derrick Henry made the AFC Championship. I personally think that the Tennessee Titans are largely overrated, and so I don't think that they are going to be the same team from 2019, largely because they overpaid Ryan Tannehill, who, in my opinion, is going to regress pretty hard. He's going to look like the Miami Dolphins' Ryan Tannehill. And then with Derrick Henry, I mean, he'll probably still be pretty productive, but seeing that the Tennessee Titans used him for about 90% of their entire offense, I think NFL defenses are going to realize that, and they're going to prepare for it. I think that the Tennessee Titans are not going to be nearly as explosive as they were in 2019, so I do not agree with that one. Next is the Green Bay Packers. They are also tied for 7th. I mean, honestly, they did have a super shitty draft, but you can never count out Aaron Rodgers. The Seattle Seahawks, I definitely agree with that. The Philadelphia Eagles, seriously. Listen, there has never been a more overhyped team in NFL history besides the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, whoever wrote this was clearly an absolute homer fanboy who thinks that the Philadelphia Eagles, let alone are better than the Bills, but are in the top 5 best NFL teams. They have lost their mind. Now, I do understand that they do have a really good chance of winning the division because they just so happen to have the Cowboys living in that same division by itself. But number 5, that's a bit of a stretch. Next, we got the Saints. I agree with that. 49ers, totally agree. Baltimore Ravens, I agree. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who wouldn't agree with that, sitting at number 1. So that was Sports Illustrated. They had the Bills at number 9. Well, the ranking wasn't necessarily a diss, but the Eagles ranking and then the Tennessee Titans ranking was sort of like a slap in the face. But let's see if ESPN does better. Now, with ESPN, right, they have notoriously shat on the Bills since the beginning of sports media, so I'm really not expecting them to have us very high. And lo and behold, they did not. We are number 11, not even in the top 10. Now, right in this little blurb that they put out, they're saying that we didn't necessarily address the hole with Lorenzo Alexander. They said that they're happy about our draft additions with Gabe Davis and Isaiah Hodgins and Zach Moss, but they think a lot of it still has to rest on Allen, right? And then this was written by Marcel. Now, Marcel, you my boy, but whoever wrote this article and decided on these rankings, you need to backhand them into eternity, because there's absolutely no way that the Buffalo Bills are sitting at number 11. And just by the fact that you rank them at number 11, I'm assuming that there's going to be some ridiculous reach of a top 10 team right now, and we'll see. What do you know? The very first team, number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. ESPN, do I need to remind you of the ass whooping that we put on the Dallas Cowboys in their home on Thanksgiving? Now, listen, let me tell you what. We understand that you paid Amari Cooper an absurd contract. We understand that you ended up picking up CeeDee Lamb, but Dak Prescott is about to hold out. You legitimately paid your backup quarterback, who is currently making more money than your starting quarterback, Dak Prescott. You really think that he's going to come back to that team? That was an absolute slap in the face to him. If Jerry Jones doesn't open up his checkbook and extend Dak as soon as possible, that Andy Dalton is going to be taking snaps for you guys. And it doesn't matter to say that you had Randy Moss lining up on the opposite side of Amari Cooper. You're still going to be 8-8. I do not agree with that whatsoever. Number 9 is the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, I really do like Dalvin Cook. I think Adam Thielen is still going to be a pretty solid receiver, so I guess I'm okay with that. Like I said, the Tennessee Titans are super overrated. They're not going to be in the top 10 after week 3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are you out of your mind? When will ESPN lose interest in sucking Tom Brady off on the regular? Like, this guy has to be sterile, has to be shooting blanks at this point. No matter what this guy touches, ESPN thinks that it's just going to be the next dynasty, right? Now, don't get me wrong. They have amazing offensive weapons in the NFC at this point, but their offensive line is still absolute shit. I do understand that they ended up picking up a guy in the first round. I believe it was Tristan Wirfs, who's great, but he's a rookie. He's going to have to take time to develop. He's not going to be an absolute stud the second that he takes the field. Not likely. And then I know that they did like a bunch of free agent moves. They're trying to make sure that they could protect Brady, but that offensive line is nowhere near what New England was to him. Brady is going to be on his ass for 60% of every single snap that he takes in 2020, and that's why I think number 7 is an absolute reach. Maybe 11, maybe 12. I could agree with that, but 7, it's an absolute reach. Next, we got Green Bay, Seattle, New Orleans, San Francisco, Baltimore, and Kansas City. I agree with all of those. That's interesting. So let's move on. Now we got Touchdown Wire, right? This is going to be the next power ranking that we have. They have us at number 6. Number 6 is the highest ranking we've seen so far. They really like the fact that our draft went so well. In fact, they ended up giving us an A. Let's see exactly who they ranked ahead of us here. So, starting off, number 5, Tennessee Titans. I swear, guys, listen, this is my hot take. The Tennessee Titans are not about to be good in 2020. And I guarantee you that people would be like, oh, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. Not going to happen, dude. They're not going to be a top 5 NFL team. They're barely going to make the playoffs. If they do. If they do, it's going to be leveraged off of the fact that an extra team makes the playoffs this year. They are not about to be the same team in 2019. Mark my words. And then number 4 is the New Orleans Saints. You really can't deny that. The Niners, they basically have their entire defense back. Baltimore Ravens, they're getting better, which is insane. And then, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, who has their entire team coming back for the most part. So I could agree with that. Number 6, Farron. Finally, we get to CBS Sports, who has been a Bills fan for the most part, but let's see exactly where they have him. Number 5, baby. The Buffalo Bills, according to CBS Sports, is ranked number 5. Now, that's by far the best ranking. And like I mentioned previously, this is a scenario of a media outlet eating our ass. And so an outlet that understands that the Bills have put together an amazing team, and we'll see what's going on. They have the Niners, the Saints, the Ravens, and the Chiefs ahead of us, which I'm completely fine with that. You cannot diss on those 4 organizations. They're just absolutely amazing. And so, like I said, they have the Niners, the Saints, the Ravens, and the Chiefs ranked ahead of us. That's completely fine. Like, those teams are amazing teams. But let's see exactly who they shafted for other teams that they think the Bills are better than. They think we're better than the Seahawks, who fell to number 6. It's going to be interesting. In fact, we've seen all of these, schedule leaks that have been coming out, and they're saying that we might be playing the Seahawks week 1 at 425. That would be interesting. Then they say we're better than the Packers. They say we're better than the Buccaneers, which, thank God. And then they say we're better than the Eagles, who was number 5 on Sports Illustrated, mind you. And then the Cowboys were better than them as well. And then the rest of the damn teams in the NFL. Look at that, baby. Look at that. CBS Sports, by far, the best power ranking article that I have read so far, where I don't want to jam my head through a wall. But Don Mafia, here it is, right? In my opinion, I think the Buffalo Bills, where we stand now, before training camp, sort of within the skeleton of the finalized roster that we have, I'm thinking that the Buffalo Bills are the 5th or 6th best team in the NFL. I mean, there's no glaring hole within our team. If anything, you could say that maybe we have a glaring hole with AJ Klein, but that's even a stretch at that point, realistically. The Bills are a complete team. And like Mel Kiper said on ESPN, he said that we could be a 12-win team, which I think is super realistic. And so, like I said, I am seeing the Bills be the number 5 or number 6 best team within the NFL, right according to Dan Mitchell's power rankings. What do you think? Let me know. Leave a comment. And so where do you think the Bills are as far as power rankings? I do understand that this is way too early, but give me a break. Let's just imagine and have some fun. Besides that, Don Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in. Be on the lookout for a bunch of new videos these next couple of days. I'm bored. I have nothing else to do, so I'm just going to be pumping out content. Stay safe, and make sure you take care of your family. And above all else, let's go Buffalo.